For me, I don't know. I've always felt like I was going to be judged for speaking the way that I speak. Like, my vocab is not the greatest. Like, I have a hard time articulating myself and stuff like that. So I did extra in retail. Like, I would always be super peppy. And, like, yeah, low-key, that's me. But, like, it was different because I need to make them sales. You know what I mean? It was, like, on. And sometimes I just didn't want to be on.
You was trying to get them credit
cards?
Yes,
I was trying to get them credit cards. And I was like really high in the credit cards too. But it was like, hey. Welcome back to Two Little Wine Podcast with Jada and
Ashley. Cheers.
Cheers with our solo cups. This is not hard liquor. This is Stella Rose. It's the light stuff.
Oh, yeah. Peach.
Yes. Well, welcome back, guys.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. The sun is shining. I'm feeling good. Ready for summer a little bit.
A little bit. Today, we're going to be talking about life in the corporate world, the professional world.
Code switching, all that.
Everything that comes with working.
Everything. I feel like this, for me, it all started with retail when I was 16 and having to turn on your sales girl voice. Like, hey, how's it going? You know, you got to sell those jeans. And I feel like it never went away. I feel like I've always had to, quote unquote, code switch. Yeah. Except till now. I will say now in my career, the career that I have, I feel like, ooh, I could finally be myself. And that feels so good.
Yeah. I can imagine. I'm sure that I do some level of code switching. Like, I know that I do because I don't necessarily act or feel the same way at work as I do outside. And I think sometimes I have a hard time letting my personality shine through. But
at work?
Yes.
Okay.
But I will say, like, as I've gotten a little bit older, I think now working with the community that I work with and like in Providence, feeling like maybe my coworkers are not necessarily a reflection. Like, how can I say?
Is it so? Wait. Because I'm in my head, right? I want to ask you this. It sounding crazy. Are there certain people that you code switch to?
Yes.
So that's what you're trying to say.
Yes. So yes, there are. And then there are other times where like I've just learned to just be like, you know what? I feel comfortable with my community as a whole. So like,
this is who I am.
Right. But there are still things that I'm like, all right, that's like, Ashley, this is an inside thought, even though like maybe I would make the joke if I felt more comfortable.
Gotcha. Yeah. I feel like there was never a divide for me. Like there was always, I had to be very careful with what I said.
So you were always like, you stepped into the work, you stepped into the building and you were always on. Like it wasn't like, Jada didn't come through.
No. Even with my, or like, okay, so I'm thinking back to retail because I've done retail, I've done like corporate world, like accounting, and then I've also done like at a bank. And like, I just feel like as soon as maybe like, because it was always customer interaction side, or I'm always talking to somebody that's not like me. So I would always have to be on. There was never no like, oh, let me just be myself.
Yeah. I think also for me, it has to do with
you have a different type of work.
Yes, I do. I definitely do. But like being young,
wanting to be respected.
Yeah, I've always been like the youngest person on my team until now. But usually like I was always the youngest person on my team. And I used to second guess myself a lot because of that. Yes. Even now still like I'm like my main team, I'm still the youngest person with the least amount of experience just because naturally like they're, you know.
I definitely think, yes, it comes with being not immature, it's being young. You don't feel so like secure maybe. You don't feel like maybe you'll be heard or respected the same way as your peers. So like you're like
But I think, thank God, thankfully. I'm now in a place where I'm like, okay, like finally having gotten over that. And I feel like if you are at work and you're feeling like my ideas are not as strong enough because maybe I don't belong here or I'm too young or maybe I don't look like the people who are like in power or like the leadership who are making decisions.
Don't listen to that part. Just do it.
Don't listen to that part. There's a reason that you belong. Every room that you step into, like you belong there, and you bring a different type of insight, a different perspective.
Yeah, there's a reason why you have that position.
Yeah.
Yes. We were kind of talking about this to one of my sisters about like making a decision to do something, and it was just like, just do it. But like we could understand why there was the hesitation there because she's younger.
Yeah.
Compared to like now, we're just like, we've already been through that, so we're like, no, like do it. Like be confident in your decision. Easier said than done, but yes, I agree. It comes with like maturity and being in that setting for longer. Yeah.
Right. And the like a big part of it too is just knowing like, even though to you your job is like a big part of you, it's not who you are, and it doesn't define you. Like there's so much more to you as a person. And remembering that, because sometimes that's hard.
That is very hard. Yeah. I remember when I was like in a corporate setting, I would always get super nervous when like the CEOs used to come around or the CFOs, and I'm like, dang, now I gotta be like, I'm already not being Jada, right? Now I gotta be like extra not Jada. Yeah. And I would always get so sweaty, like butterflies, all this stuff. And I remember the person that I reported to, she was like, just picture them in underwear, like for real, just do it. Like they're just normal. They're a normal person, just like me and you. They just have that title. But still, I could never get out of it. But I was also like in a place where like I was the only person of color, like one of the only people of color. So I felt very out of place.
Yeah, it's actually really funny because there's someone on my team who, she's newer to my team. I think she started maybe like last year, and I've been there for, you know, quite a few years, 5-6 years. And she'll always ask me like, oh, like, Ashley, who's that? Like, who's that? Like people who are walking around who you can tell they hold some sort of leadership or like position of power. And I'm half the time I'm like, I don't know who they are necessarily, because we don't interact. And she's like, oh, I just need to know if I'm gonna be extra, if I need to be extra nice to them. But for me, I'm like, girl, just be nice to everybody, and then that's it. I'm not going around
just
out
be
of
nice
my
to
way.
Everybody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna I don't go out of my way to like say hi to so and so just because I know I'm just.
She knows she ain't mean, that's why. No. She knows she need to act right.
No, and she's joking. Just is definitely a person who's super like, nice. Yeah. You know.
For me, I don't know. I've always felt like I was gonna be judged for speaking the way that I speak. So like, you know how in the episode where we talked about like not being Dominican enough or not being American enough, I always feel like I was not enough as just Jada. So like I was not gonna get the same. Yeah, it was like second guessing myself. Like I thought I wasn't
not
gonna
being professional enough.
Not being professional enough. Yeah. So I always had to go the extra mile. Like I remember people pulling up to the office, like wearing whatever they wanted. And I was like, no, I'm gonna wear my slacks. I'm gonna wear my like, you know, little dress shoes, my little flats, and I'm gonna be cute because I need these people to take the words that I'm saying like for real.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I know that like my vocab is not the greatest. Like I have a hard time articulating myself and stuff like that. So I did extra. Or like in retail, like I would always be super peppy and like, yeah, low key that's me. But like it was different because I need to make them sales. You know what I mean? It was like on, and sometimes I just didn't want to be on.
You was trying to get them credit
cards?
Yes,
I was trying to get them credit cards. And I was like really high in the credit cards too. Let me tell you. But it was like, today no credit cards.
I appreciate when everyone is, when they're like, would you like a credit card? And I'm like, no, and they're like, but somebody was like,
they be in your
please.
ear. They be in your ear. Like low key. So in retail, they be in your ear telling you to do these things, right? Making sure that you're doing these things. So you just gotta be on. Retail corporate setting, they're not in your ear, but they be in the emails. Like
yeah.
So I don't know. I feel
it's the same thing, because even in retail, like you're working for like this bigger corporation. Yes. Like maybe your role is not.
We would have like secret management would come in. It was crazy. Like it's no joke. It's no joke. The same way that like you have like reviews and stuff, and it's all
so
the
it would
same.
Act like a regular customer.
Yes. I don't miss it. Mind you, it's been a long time since I've done retail, but I still like, it still makes me so like anxious. Like I feel bad for these kids. That's why I'm so nice to them. Or like just not kids, but like anybody in retail. Like they be going through it in the back. You gotta watch videos and just, I don't know. It's a lot of code switching for me. Yeah.
So how do you find your voice of like speaking up?
Now?
Despite the code switch. Now, were you able to do it when you were in like?
I don't think I ever was, to be honest. I would just like, for me, I would just be like, yo, this just work. Like, whatever.
Yeah, like
as soon as I left work, I don't need to talk to these people. This is not part of my day to day. So it'd be like Jada 1 and Jada 2. All right, put the face on. And that's it. I don't think I ever got to a point where I was fully comfortable in either setting as an employee. Then, after I was not an employee, I felt like I was able to be myself. Right. Because again, I think that I correlated to my judgment of my work, how others perceive me. In my day-to-day, I don't care how people perceive me because I know who I am and I know my worth. But I don't know, it's something about being in work settings that, I don't know, I put myself so down. Yeah. So How about you? Right. I feel like
so I feel like definitely have grown. So I think about like my first job out of college, like I was very like, I would say like pretty quiet, like whatever y'all decide, whatever. Until like after a while I was like, you know what? I'm not going to take this place so seriously. If I quit today, they're going to have somebody new tomorrow. Always. And guess what? I could get a new job tomorrow. Whatever. So, but I think as I've gotten older and like feel more confident in my skills and at work, I stand my ground. Like, you know, I was thinking about like, wow, the first time that I ever felt like anxious as far as work is because I felt like I was being asked to do things that were outside of my role. And it was like, excuse my language, but it was the bitch work. Like where I was like running around and like literally felt like a chicken with my head cut off to the point that one time I didn't feel well. It was around COVID and it was allergy season. My allergies was crazy. I knew I didn't have COVID. But I knew I had a headache, like a bunch of stuff. So I was like,
I got COVID, girl.
No, I was just like, oh, like I don't feel well, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, well, what are your symptoms? And if you had 2 symptoms at that time, like you had to go home.
Yes. I remember this time.
So
Great time.
I was like this and this and that. And I was like, yo, I got 3 days at least to not feel anxious or stressed at work. You know, and so after that was when like, okay, Ashley, like you're going to have to step up and set some boundaries or you can't continue like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so
this
that
is
would
not
be,
okay.
That would be a tip that you would say, like, set some boundaries, right? But also let go a little bit. Yeah.
And kind of like being like, okay, it's not that serious. Like at the like you said, at the end of the day, I clock out or like at my time to leave, I leave. But also setting boundaries. So like, I am very rarely do I give my phone number out to coworkers. Like I don't really have coworkers on my social media or like anything like that. Facebook, like, you know what I mean?
You keep it professional.
I've had people who ask me like, oh, like I sent you a Facebook request and I'm like, oh yeah, like I don't really accept, you know, just because I try my best to like keep those things separate. I think again, as I've gotten older, I've been kind of like being a little bit more like, okay, because I feel more confident in myself and more sure of the work that I produce. Like I know what I bring to my team, you know what I mean? Then kind of a little bit more, but still not like, fully. Yeah, no, just because there is a certain level of professionalism. Like some things don't need to happen in the work environment, and unfortunately, I do feel like a lot of people don't know where that separates. And I think that's why I always used to teeter-totter. I think now in my setting, I am 100% like confident in my role and what I do, so I don't get nervous. But I do be like, yo, these people be playing with me with some of that stuff I gotta do. But I do think, the confidence part plays a huge role. And like knowing that it's you, like you're gonna output, like your output is gonna be top tier anyways. Right. So. And I think before I used to be a lot of like, if I say something wrong or if I don't understand at something, like afraid to ask a question or like whatever. And then I just kind of was like, well, just ask. Like, you know what I mean?
How are you gonna get help if you don't ask?
Exactly.
And also, like, this is like an aside or like the opposite. I feel like a lot of people need to start to say things with their chest. Yeah. Like, in the work environments, like, say what you gotta say. As far as like when you're working with others that want something done a specific way or whatever. I hate the whole like walking on eggshells or the passive aggressiveness. Because I'm like, for me, because I'm confident in my role and what I can do. If you gotta tell me something, girl, just say it. Yeah. So we can execute. How do you do with micromanaging?
So,
have you ever been micromanaged? I have.
And I don't necessarily respond well to it because I'm like, if you're gonna, I feel like I'm the person who, if you're like micromanaging me, then I just kind of like, I can't do anything because I'm not gonna stress myself to that point. You know what I mean?
Just do it yourself, yeah.
And or like I have said like, okay, kind of like, okay, can we collaborate on this then, or like whatever. Thankfully, I'm not in that position now. Like, and I haven't been in a long time for the most part, which is nice. But sometimes I feel like sometimes I've had like the complete opposite where I'm like, please
manage me,
help me a little bit.
I can relate. I can relate. Like, can you like guide me
Give
right
me some
now?
feedback.
Give me some feedback so I can be better. Like, I know I'm good, but no,
there ain't no way everything is amazing.
It's true. But I'm gonna let it go to my head for a little bit. But then I'm gonna be like, yo, can you like give me some feedback, ma'am? Yeah. I feel like micromanaging, there's some people that just shouldn't be managers. I could never.
Yeah, it definitely, I feel like micromanaging is exhausting. Yeah. And I can imagine, like, if you have pressure from above you, like, I get that too.
But there's a time and a place, and there's a certain skill that you need in order to manage. And when I feel like, when you're being micromanaged, that I truly feel like that person in that role should not be in that role. Like, cause I don't know. I guess now I see it black and white, or like even before I see it black and white. When I was in those settings, like if you feel like you literally need to be there one step of the way, every step of the way, and make sure I'm like crossing my T's and dotting my I's. First of all, why am I in this position? Let's talk about it. Why are you? Or maybe it's you. Most of the time, I feel like it's them. Like, they got to work on that. They need some help from their superiors.
Yeah, or like sometimes I feel like maybe people have had not the best experiences with their staff, so like they feel like they have to be on top of them. Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like if you have a job, you have your job for a reason. And if you got hired for this job, I don't know. I'm trying to think of all these like different scenarios in my head from previous work experience. Like, if you literally are micromanaging me, I'm gonna get so exhausted to the point I'm be like, why am I in this position? What am I doing wrong that you feel like you need to sit there every step of the way? How can I work on that so you don't have to do that? And then if I work on that and then you're still doing it, honey, it's a you problem, because I'm about to quit.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe people have had not the best experiences, because I've been in situations or teams, like working collaboratively with a group of people or whatever, and I'm like, well, I know that this person, you got to be on top of them. So think about a group project. Sometimes there's certain people that you just have to be on top of, even though you're like, that's not how I want to be. But so then, because then I think like the next time you're in that situation, you transfer those same skills. So if you've had an experience where you have to micromanage a team or micromanage an employee, then the next time you have one, you're like, dang, maybe I'm gonna have to do it like this again because I need to work them up. I don't know, girl. Maybe I'm just giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Every group project that I have ever been in, like if you're doing less than, best believe teacher's gonna know. Professor's gonna know that you was doing less than. This is we're all adults. Like, we're all like responsible, or should be, right?
Yeah.
I feel like people need to be held to the same standard.
But okay, all right. So have you ever been in a situation where you're in a group project and it's a group grade?
Yeah.
right? So then if whether
you pick up the slack.
Right, you pick up the slack. That's what I'm saying. So you end up picking up the slack for people. Same thing is if you have, you know, the manager has her team or their employees, they need to pick up the slack from their team because the director is on their ass, basically.
Yes, and they need to work on that with their team. So
right, but when you have a deadline, it's like, this is not the time for me to like work on it.
Yeah, okay. I guess
like when I have something to do.
But that's a learning moment for everybody.
Of course.
100%.
Of course. And there are definitely people who let a power trip get to their head, or like who that's just their style of like need to control everything or whatever. But that's why you need to have people that you trust.
Yeah.
And
that's hard. I would never go back.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That's hard. It's hard. I freaking live in a constant state of anxiety. So like, anytime I was ever in a position where it was just not it, because I was already putting so much effort into be somebody that I wasn't. It's like everything else that came with it, I was trying to just get out of it.
It's exhausting.
It was so exhausting that every time I felt like that, like in any type of job that I've ever had, when I got to the point where I'm like, nah, this is mentally exhausting. I'm out. I'm looking for a way out.
Yeah.
For better. I mean, again, easier said than done. Not everybody's in that position to be able to do that. But
yeah, but I think it's important to like take away and note, like if you are at work and you are code switch, you find yourself like feeling like you're a totally different person when you get to work, or you feel drained at the end of the day. Like it doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't have to be.
You don't have to, you can, it's crazy, but like there definitely are other options. And I think sometimes we limit ourselves so much because we just, you know, it's scary. Like to take a leap is scary.
And chances and like not the unknowing.
Right. And sometimes I think like when I was younger, I definitely felt like I owed my job something.
Yes.
Like I owe them my absolute best.
Yes.
Even if one, I'm definitely not getting compensated the same way. Two, like they don't care that I'm sitting here stressed, that I'm taking work home, that I'm working late. Like whatever, the work gets done. That's great.
You know what I think shifted my mentality 1,000%? It was the moment that COVID was the moment that changed everything for me in terms of working for someone, right? It was like, literally life is way too short and people were getting laid off. People were literally disappearing. Like it was a time that I'm like, all right, now because people are getting laid off, right? Because of the pandemic and everything, we had to overwork. And then, but then it was like, all right, now I caught COVID and I can't work for 2 weeks because I might not be here, right? Because I'm sick. And still life went on, like work still went on. Like that's how I feel now. Like, nah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. It's
not worth it. There should be a happy medium where you feel like maybe you're not fully yourself, but there's a level of professionalism and you feel good. And it's not like taking over who you are as a person. But once it starts to like be overwhelming.
Yeah, and like you start to feel like you're taking things home. It's all you could think about. You can't sleep. Having the Sunday scaries.
Yeah.
Like that is.
And like being so happy that it's Friday or close to Friday. Yeah. Like there's people that live like that. Yeah. That it doesn't need to be like that.
I'm people. Because I be counting down till Friday. I'm ready for Friday, which I don't think that I have always felt like that at work, but I feel like I go through time periods where I'm like,
well, your job is stressful.
Dreamed afterwards.
It's a stressful system, like overall. Yeah. We need some yoga sessions. We need some woosahs.
Definitely. Have you ever felt like your leadership, like, I don't know how to say this.
I'm say it with your chest.
Right. Have you ever felt like, dang, I think I could do certain things that my manager's role in this, like I feel like I could do it better. I feel like I could lead the team better.
100%.
Yeah.
But then, well, at least in the positions that I've been, I've been like, you know what? I don't want to do it though.
I wouldn't want to necessarily.
Like I could do it better, much more smoother, less complications. But you know what? I don't want that stress.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't want that stress.
That's true.
How about you?
Yeah, there's been times where like not even in management, but like there's been times that I'm like, wait, this person gets paid this much money to do this and they can't even do that right. Like,
let's talk about that real quick though. That's like, it's not even about like poor leadership. It's
right.
like structure. Like how is it? Because it's in almost every setting that I've seen, that I've been in. How are the people at the top getting paid the most and doing the least? They don't even know how to do the most basic things that keep the company going.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic in itself.
Yep.
But yeah. But then
That's
I always think
frustrating.
back, nah, I don't want to be there.
Yeah. But like, if you're at the top and you don't gotta do anything,
That is also true.
you're collecting a check. That's what it feels
That's
like,
true.
and putting on the face, right? Because that's what it comes with when you're in certain positions and you are like the face of the company or whatever.
Yeah. But then for me, again, I think for me, it always stemmed back to I don't fit in with the people at the top.
Right.
Like, they don't look like me. They don't act like me. They don't speak like me. So I'm going to just like, to me, it's more work. And maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that's a bad quality of mine that I got to work on. But like, because I feel that separation, I'm just like, you know what? It's not
Well,
worth
kind of, it sounds like when you're saying it, I'm like, damn, well, that's like very limiting for you.
Yeah.
Like it ends up putting a limit to where you can reach.
And I didn't think about that until I just said that.
Yeah.
Just how
And
I
it
said
doesn't
right now.
have to be like
No,
that
it
either. It
doesn't.
shouldn't be. I mean, I'm trying to get away from the word shouldn't. But because in life, there are no shoulds, there are no shouldn'ts. Things just are. But it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't
that way.
have to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
there
doesn't
we
have
go.
to be. You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't really, poor leadership, I'm just like, I don't be stressed about it because I feel like, I don't know.
I get stressed because it trickles back down.
Like
to
you
me.
end up, yeah.
Like the way that it affects me,
Yeah.
and then the way that it affects, like, you know, the people that we're working with or like whatever it might be. Like, that's what's frustrating
Yeah.
for me. At the end of the day, if, you know, you make decisions that are not affecting other people, then like whatever, make whatever decision you want. But when they trickle down and they affect people, like that is what's
Yeah.
frustrating for me. And that's how I've been able to find my voice of being like, okay, this is not even, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about everybody else that the
Advocating.
system, yeah.
That's
affects.
so powerful though. We need more people like you.
It's exhausting.
So I know it is, and that's why I said.
It's exhausting.
I will
It's
follow
exhausting
you.
to always have to be the person that's like, consider this.
Yeah.
Maybe we should look at it from this angle, or like, I'm not understanding that. Let's repeat that. Like, let's rephrase that. It's so exhausting.
I say pay Ashley. No.
And then it's exhausting to me, but then I'm sure it's exhausting for other people. Like, damn, here she
Yeah.
goes again.
Yeah.
Here she goes unmuting herself in the meeting. I'm sure there's some people who, when they see my little mic unmute, they're like,
I would
Here
live for
we
that. I
go.
would grab my popcorn and be like, yes, girl, go. Say what you gotta say, because I ain't gonna say it. I'd be the one giving you the other suggestions.
see, that's frustrating.
I know.
Yeah, girl, say it with your chest.
I don't think I care enough to say it with my chest. Wow, maybe that's why people don't say it with their chest.
Maybe they don't care enough, or like, it's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
They probably do care, but it's a big responsibility. Because if you're willing to tell somebody else to say it,
Nah, for real.
like, then you care to some extent. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's not easy.
No, but you're killing it though.
Huh?
I said you're killing it though.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you think you would ever want to, like, if it was your choice right now, would you go back to working in like the corporate world?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. I always say this. Should I say it?
I don't know what you're about to say.
I don't know if I should say
I
it.
can't read your
I'll
mind.
keep it for another time.
Oh!
But yeah, no. I think that I would stay happily where I'm at. And yeah, like working I don't know, because I never got to the point in all of my places of work where I felt as confident as now, or as like supported as now. Like I was so like insecure in those roles for many, many reasons, but I never felt supported even when I was like at the top.
Yeah.
So no, I would never go back. I won't.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Before we close out, I have an announcement that I meant to say at the beginning.
Oh, what?
Y'all ready? Drum roll.
Drum roll.
After one of our previous episodes, we have officially booked a family vacation.
Woo! We're going on a trip.
So stay tuned to find out where we go and for those details.
We're gonna vlog it. We'll vlog it.
We're saying that, so we need to actually do it.
We're gonna vlog it, but y'all are gonna see Too Little Wine on vacation. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say we bullied our family into a vacation, but
they
that's
definitely
kinda...
they definitely watched us and hit up the group chat like,
fine. Yeah, so proud of us for that. We booked the trip. Let us know though what it's been like. What's your experience, your work experience? What do you like about your job, not like about your job? How do you navigate code switching?
Code switch? What does it look like for you?
I mean, not to like go back into it, but even the idea of like having to wear a suit to work, like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's not normal. It shouldn't be normal.
Anyways, let's take a poll on that. Is it normal? No.
Yeah. What is your take on professional attire? Let us know.
Let us know below and we'll comment.
Yes.
All right. Cheers.
Well, cheers. I was about to say it again. See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
I'm like a silly